Good afternoon. This regular meeting of the Houston Community College Board of Trustees will come to order on June 26, 2024 at
4:00 p.m.
This meeting was called for the purposes as listed on the duly posted meeting notices. First, before prayer, I would like to remember in our thoughts and prayers Dr. Mudassir Siddiqui and his family in the passing of his wife, Mrs. Fozia Siddiqui, on Saturday, June 22nd. We offer our deepest sympathy to Dr. Siddiqui during this difficult time. We also offer our prayers and condolences to Melissa Mahalik in the passing of her mother, Mrs. Catherine Ann Bush, who transitioned on Wednesday, June 19th. A memorial service will be held on July 1st at 2 p.m. at the Memorial Drive United Methodist Church. At this time, I'd like to ask you all to stand and join me in the prayer and the pledges. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your blessings. We ask that you guide this board and this school in its endeavors to educate and to help the students and the people in our community. We thank you for your Son who died on our cross for our many sins. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. We are now ready to approve the minutes from the Academic and Student Affairs Committee, Audit Committee, and Committee of the Whole meeting on May 1st, 2024, regular special and board retreat meeting on May 19th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve the minutes for May 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, we're now ready to vote on the approval of the minutes of May of 2024. Voting is now open. Board members, cast your vote.
I think I hit the wrong, can I get it again, or?
I'm
Did we
unable to at
close
the
it?
moment. If you can give me your correct vote.
Yes, for me,
Yes, received.
to make quorum, yes.
And Trustee Wilson. Trustee Wilson.
It's not come up
Trustee Wilson.
on my, is it on the other?
1 second, Trustee Wilson. Yes.
There we go, I got it now.
Voting has concluded. The motion passed with a vote of 5-0.
All right, we'll now move to our awards, presentations, and recognitions. Todd Duplantis will introduce the awards presentations for us.
Good afternoon.
It is a pleasure to recognize our own Houston Community College Foundation today for their success of the 2024 Gala held on April 20th, 2024. I'm pleased to invite HCC Foundation Board Chair Ryan McCauley, HCC Foundation President Karen Schmidt, and members of the HCC Foundation Board in attendance here, including Gala Auction Chair Vanessa Carter, to join the trustees and the chancellor in front of the dais for the check presentation in recognition of proceeds. We also want to thank our donors for their generous contributions in support of the HCC Foundation, and our students, trustees. Please remain in front of the dais for the next presentation. We will provide an opportunity for remarks at the end of the recognitions. We now invite the business plan competition representatives to join the trustees and chancellor in front of the dais for the check presentation along with Karen Schmidt. We are thankful for the $51,500 in donations from various donors in support of the business plan competition. Once again, thank you all for your contributions to HCC's foundation. In 2016, the Houston Community College Commencement Planning Committee implemented a competition to encourage HCC students to submit their design ideas for the cover page of the commencement program. The winning submission for the spring 2024 commencement program cover is Elsie Onajiwa, and for the fall 2024 commencement cover program is Mustafa Zori. We ask both students to now join the trustees and chancellor in front of the dais for their recognitions. Also joining for the recognition and presentation of the iPads to each winner is Dr. Norma Perez, Dr. Francis Villigran Glover, and Dr. Rima Adil. If you'd all please come forward. Thank you both. And trustees and chancellor, you may now return to the dais. Houston Community College has achieved the prestigious Gold Status Military-Friendly School designation for 2024-2025, a testament to its exceptional support for veteran and military-affiliated student success. This recognition is a result of HCC's unwavering dedication to create an inclusive and supportive environment for veterans and military-affiliated students, provide tailored services and resources to meet their unique needs, and creating sustainable and meaningful educational paths for the military community. This status reflects HCC's commitment to serving those who have served our country and their families, and its ongoing efforts to ensure the academic and personal success of veteran and military affiliated students. Congratulations to the HCC Veteran and Military Affiliated Student Success Department for their exceptional dedication, unwavering commitment. At this time, we would like for them to ask for the VMAS team to stand and be recognized. Thank you for your diligent work on behalf of HCC. Please note that the honorary degree recipients who were scheduled to be recognized are not able to join us today. We again express appreciation to each of our honorary degree recipients for their tireless efforts to the community. At this time, we now invite Ms. Karen Schmidt to the podium for remarks on the check presentations.
Good afternoon. I am not Karen Schmidt, but she will be up here in just a second. First, I wanted to say thank you to the Board of Trustees, Chair Dr. Linton Gary, entire trustees, and also Chancellor Ford Fisher. It's an honor to speak to you again today, especially on such a joyous occasion with the opportunity to deliver a large check, figuratively and literally, for the Houston Community College Foundation. Before we jump into here, I just want to say that 2024 was a record year for our foundation gala, and it proves out that the more partnership we have between the Board of Trustees, between the college leadership, the faculty, the administration, the staff, the more we can do for our students. So thank you for your leadership, Chancellor, and for everybody's support of our foundation and the great work that our students are doing in the classroom. As y'all know who were there, the 24 Gala was a memorable event, which helped us raise extremely, like we said, record-breaking funds for student success. And I want to recognize some of the leaders from the foundation that helped us accomplish those goals. Our co-chairs, Al Payton and his wife Cheryl, as well as Dr. Kim Shelton Brown. Al Payton and his wife are actually traveling right now, couldn't be with us today. But we do have our auction chair, Vanessa Carter, who really brought the gala to life with her efforts. So I want to ask, on behalf of Al Payton, I want to extend his appreciation to everybody who played a role in the success of the evening. Gala auction chair Vanessa Carter did a wonderful job elevating not only the auction items, but just the fun that the auction items can bring to the event to a new level. I'm especially pleased to announce that Vanessa has accepted the mantle to serve as our gala chair in 2025 for the next HCC Foundation Gala. Thank you, Vanessa. Over 550 guests joined us at the ballroom of the Hilton Americas on April 20th, including many donors, many friends, and community members, and our HCC friends and leaders who are gathered here today. We had several VIP guests and officials, and our presenting sponsor, of course, Barnes & Noble, who was recognized for their $100,000 contribution. The highlight of the evening was certainly the presentation of our Crystal Eagle Award to renowned educator and New York Times best-selling author, Dr. Ruth J. Simmons, for her commitment to education and impact in our community. We have been so busy sharing the good news on the success of the evening, including the historic interview conducted by Chancellor Ford Fisher and Dr. Simmons. Dr. Simmons was probably most impacted after the interview by the surprise gift of a $25,000 endowed scholarship on behalf of the HCC Foundation Board in her own honor. As MC, I had the opportunity to present and surprise her and make that announcement on the stage, and I think everybody can attest who was there. It moved her emotionally like nothing else we've ever seen move her emotionally. And this is a woman who has experienced everything in her life. To have her as part of our HCC family is truly remarkable. I encourage everybody to visit our Gala thank you page on the Foundation website at hccsfoundation.org/2024 Gala to view the video capturing not only the exceptional interview on stage with Dr. Simmons and Chancellor Ford Fisher, but also the many wonderful images taken during the evening. Now for some really exciting news. Let me share with you the gala results. You saw that big amount written on the check over there earlier, and thanks to the generous community support and everybody in this room who contributed, we raised more than $650,000 on the night of the gala. That represents vital, vital funds, which will directly benefit the areas of greatest need for our students as they continue their educational journey. Also included in this total is the fabulous result of our live and silent auction, which topped over $100,000 this year, thanks to our amazing auction chair this year and chair of the gala next year, Vanessa Carter. And I can personally attest, as I came home with several auction items, that it's a lot of fun to see everybody donating and giving of their own time, talents, and treasures, and how that can really pay off for our students. Now, numbers are certainly a big piece of every fundraising event, especially the gala, but it's also about community awareness, outreach, and brand recognition. So the 2024 gala saw that help us step up in a big way. On behalf of the Foundation Board, I want to extend appreciation to all the trustees for your esteemed participation and support of our gala this year. We also want to extend our appreciation to Chancellor Dr. Margaret Ford Fisher for your leadership and your support, combined with your outreach on behalf of the gala, including your Business Champions Council and your relationship with the Greater Houston Partnership. I also want to acknowledge the generous support of our college presidents who sponsored tables and members of the Chancellor's Executive Council who also did the same. We're all grateful for your leadership and support, and together you helped us reach a new level of sponsorship success. To all my Foundation Board colleagues, I want to extend a very special message of appreciation for your leadership and support. It takes each of us to bring the results across the finish line for the gala, and we came together this year like we hadn't come together in any year prior. I also want to acknowledge the Foundation team for their efforts on behalf of the gala and the leadership of our foundation president, Karen Schmidt, I have to pause and ask for the foundation staff to stand because they do such a remarkable job. Thank you for everything you did on behalf of our event this year. In closing, I want to plant the seed for the next gala. That's right, you heard correct. The Foundation Gala is now an annual event. And we know that the need that our students have is more important than it's ever been, and so we're moving from every other year to every year. That's why we're proud to say that you can actually pull out your phones if you'd like to multitask. Saturday, April 26th, 2025, we'll be back at the Hilton Americas for another record event of results for HCC student success. So please stay tuned for more details. That's April 26th, which is a Saturday, 2025, back at the Hilton Americas. If I could just say one more time, thank you to everybody in the room. Thank you to the trustees. Thank you to the staff. Thank you to everybody at the college who makes our foundation a success and ultimately helps our students achieve their academic goals. It's now my pleasure to turn the podium over to Foundation President Karen Schmidt to say a few remarks recognizing our donors who have supported and continue to support our HCC Plan competition. Karen?
Thank you, Board of Trustees Chair, Dr. Cynthia Linton-Gary, although I know it's Dave Wilson today. Hello.
Yeah, that Brian wasn't Karen, and I'm not Cynthia Linton-Gary either.
And to your fellow trustees and Chancellor Ford Fisher, I am now honored to have the opportunity to thank the generous donors who have supported the 2024 Houston Community College Business Plan Competition. The Business Plan Competition is an opportunity for proposed, startup, and existing entrepreneurs to develop focused plans to start or grow their businesses. Each year, teams apply in January, and 25 are competitively selected to participate throughout the spring program, receiving free training and one-on-one advising that are invaluable to these business owners. The top 5 winners in the competition all receive cash prizes, and all of the 25 participants receive in-kind prizes. Congratulations to this year's competition winner, David Lee, with True Reflections Media. 2024 marked the 17th annual competition, and each year the program has grown and developed with the support of our sponsors and entrepreneurial ecosystem partners. This year we had 10 wonderful donors come together to give a total of $51,500 to support the competition and the operations of the Glenda and David Regenbaum Center for Entrepreneurship. Our special thanks to this year's donors go to Wallace Bank, Stellar Bank, Lift Fund, Frost Bank, Capital CDC, Ed and Alita Rios, Veritex Bank, Vertical Web, Permit Us Now, Faith in Business Foundation. These donors have returned year after year to support the competitive financially and through their volunteerism and involvement as judges, panelists, and mentors. We are so proud of the impact of the business plan competition and the Glenda and David Regenbaum Center for Entrepreneurship to promote economic mobility and business ownership and to strengthen the Houston economy. I would now like to invite Nasser Khan from Wallace Bank, one of the competition's longest supporters, to the podium to give brief remarks on behalf of the business competition plan sponsors. Thank you very much.
Well, this is quite intimidating and quite impressive, as if I'm in front of a Senate hearing or a city council where trying to. Well, the last time I was in the city council, there was an issue with the firefighters, and we had all the firefighters in there. But today, we have the students, so it's thank God. I'll be pretty much formal. Normally, I don't read it, but today my office said be formal. So write down something. So I did write something down. So, ladies and gentlemen of the Houston Community College Board of Trustees, I'm truly honored to stand before you today on behalf of Wallace Bank, a steadfast pillar in Houston lending landscape for over a century. It is with immense pride that we have had the opportunity to support and sponsor the SEC Business Plan Competition as a platinum sponsor. The dedication and passion exhibited by the individuals behind the organizing of the Business Plan Competition are truly inspiring. I want to take a moment to acknowledge and extend a heartfelt thank you to Sandra Louvier, David Regenbaum, I don't see him here, Dr. Meyer, Dr. Hodges, and especially Jill, who welcomed me right outside the hall over here. Thank you, Jill. She's always with a smile. Appreciate her. Whose unwavering commitment has been instrumental in making this program a resounding success year after year. Houston Community College has been instrumental in providing a platform for budding entrepreneurs to transform their vision and aspirations into tangible business plans. The mentorship and guidance provided by SCC has been invaluable in helping these individuals to navigate the complexities of the economy and ensure the viability of their ventures for potential financing. Wallace Bank has not only been a broad sponsor of this program, but also has extended financial assistance to several individuals, some of whom have now become our ambassadors. I truly say they are real ambassadors for HCC and also for my bank and also the other donors sitting over there. Through our collaboration with U.S. Small Business Administration, we have been able to offer loan programs and even waive the SBA packaging fee, further demonstrating our commitment to fostering entrepreneurship within our community. The role that SEC plays in nurturing and empowering these aspiring entrepreneurs cannot be understated. Like a caring parent, SEC equipped these individuals with the skills and knowledge needed to thrive in the competitive business landscape, offering ongoing support and guidance every step of the way. I'm personally inspired by the incredible work that SCC has done in the past and continues to do to cultivate the next generation of business leaders. The growth and success of this program are a testament to the hard work, dedication of all those individuals. As the members of the Board of Trustees, you should take immense pride in the contribution of these individuals and the impact they are making in shaping the future of our own community. In closing, I extend my best wishes for the continued success of SEC Business Plan Competition. May this program continue to flourish, empowering countless individuals to turn their entrepreneurial dreams into reality. Thank you for your time and attention and assistance. Thank you so much. Good evening.
I'd like to say one thing real quick. I appreciate everyone who has worked so hard on the foundation, from the president to the board members to everybody and to sacrifice your time and your money to help this institution is very touching to me, and I appreciate every one of y'all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Karen. Thank you, and thank you to all your partners for your donations and support to HCC. At this time, we'd like to pause for an overview in recognition of Juneteenth, which was celebrated last Wednesday, June 19th. We are pleased to welcome to the podium to provide the recognition Professor Kimberly Jones Milton with the Southeast College History Department.
Good afternoon, Chancellor Dr. Margaret Ford Fisher, esteemed Board of Trustee members, Vice Chancellors, Presidents, and all in attendance today. My entry point to Juneteenth came by way of moving to Houston in the early 90s. I grew up in a small town in Florida, and Juneteenth was never mentioned, which led me to believe that this was something synonymous with Texas, which I later found was far from the truth. Facts about Juneteenth. Juneteenth is known as Freedom Day, Emancipation Day, Jubilee Day. As most know, during this time, the word of freedom for various reasons traveled slow. It is not until June 19, 1865, when General Granger and his troops arrive in Galveston. It is there he reads General Order 3. So Granger gives the good news. All enslaved are free and have absolute equality, personal rights, and rights of property. What comes out of this is formerly enslaved people taking their own freedom. One of the first things they do is they look for relatives to reconstruct families. They look for husbands, they look for wives, they look for big mamas, aunties, tias, uncles, brothers, sisters, and cousins. Where do they go? Many of the formerly enslaved, they leave plantations in Galveston and they make the 51-mile journey to Freedmanstown, which is known by 4th Ward. The formerly enslaved, they bought property to celebrate. Many of you know Emancipation Park in 3rd Ward is purchased in 1872 for $800 by 3 formerly enslaved men. We have Jack Gates, we have Richard Allen, and we have Elias Dibble. Family reunions come out of Juneteenth. Its origins are Black people reuniting and centering around family. Many of you this summer will be among your families doing family reunions. So Juneteenth continues to gain momentum from the 1860s all the way to the 1940s. After the 40s, it will dwindle. The further the generations get away from enslavement, we see that it dwindles. But it picks up by the 1960s and the Civil Rights Black Power movement. Juneteenth is a renewed interest of freedom. In 1972, the Texas legislature adopts a resolution to recognize Juneteenth. It's done by 2 men, one from Dallas, one from Houston, Zan Holmes and Curtis Graves. It is not a holiday at this time, it is acknowledged. By the end of the 1970s, we have former Texas State Representative Al Edwards, who is considered the father of Juneteenth and made transition 4 years ago. He lobbied the Texas State Legislature. We have Mother Opal Lee of Dallas, who's considered the grandmother of Juneteenth. She rallies for years to make Juneteenth a holiday. We have U.S. Representative Sheila Jackson Lee and Senator John Cornyn. They commissioned a federal study on the Emancipation Trail, the trail I just mentioned, 51-mile trek from Galveston to Houston. If it is approved by Congress, this will be the second historic trail. We have the first one, which is Selma to Montgomery, 1965 Voting Rights March. In 1997, we have the Juneteenth flag. It is designed with the colors of the red, white, and blue with the exploding star in the middle. So as we know, Juneteenth is signed into law by President Joe Biden, June 17, 2021. Initially, when I started this conversation, I mentioned that I felt no connection to Juneteenth when I came to Houston. Some of it was my own ignorance. I later found that Emancipation Day was celebrated in Florida in many parts as early as 1865. Again, the words of freedom, they move slow. So lessons that I've learned in closing, what I realize is history calls us all to remember, no matter how painful. And lastly, the human spirit desires freedom. and the opportunity to live up to the promised ideals of this country. And on this post, Juneteenth, this is the post, that is something to be celebrated. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Milton. This concludes the awards presentations and recognitions.
At this time, we'll open the floor for trustees to provide information regarding activities in their respective districts, an overview from conferences or workshops attended and/or recognize individuals for outstanding contributions in the community that promote education and community service. We ask trustees to limit their respective comments to no more than 3 minutes. Anyone?
I just wanted to thank Dr. Barillo. We received word that you're leaving us, and I just want you to know how much we deeply appreciate, or I deeply appreciate, everything you've done for HCC. You were one of the first names that I had to learn when I came to HCC, because all of the check presentations, you have brought so many resources to our students and our communities, and you are so well known among our elected population and business people. And I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart how much I appreciate all you've done for our students. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful career in Dallas. And I just wish you all the best. I just couldn't let the day end without that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Trustee Tamez?
I ditto to that, Dr. Barillo. We're going to miss you, and thank you for your service to HCC. You've done so much to bring us to where we are now, so thank you. I do want to take a moment of privilege to Dr. Siddiqui, to Melissa Mahalik, to Todd. I don't know if Todd's still here, Duplantis, who have lost someone just very recently, and it's very raw. I lost my sweetheart on April 25th, and long battle with cancer, and he fought hard, but it was not meant to be. And so my attendance has been virtual or just being in contact with our chancellor and making sure that I continue to represent, but my focus was my family. And, but I wanted to let Dr. Siddiqui, Melissa, Todd know that I feel you. I feel you. And I just want to close with this poem. Those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day. Unseen, unheard, but always near, still loved, still missed, and very dear. And that's author unknown, but I keep that with me, so I wanted to share that. Thank you. And to the foundation, thank you for my basket. Thank you so much for sending me this basket that came in handy. I ate every fruit and every candy, and so it was just very, very touching, and I thank you very much for thinking of me. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Tamez. And I would also like to say we'd like to extend our condolence to you and your loss. And we're sorry for that. And solemn times. We all have had that happen. It's not pleasant, but it's part of life. And the departing of our Dr. Barillo, we're going to miss her also. To John.
I want to pile on by also recognizing Dr. Barillo. Dr. Barillo was the very first HCC leader that I met when I was first on the campaign trail, and she made me feel right at home, very welcome, taught me a lot in our very first engagement about the HCC AI cybersecurity programs. I was pleasantly surprised at the time, and then I came to find that was just part of HCC's DNA to be so welcoming and welcoming. So just want to say, really, it's been a short collaboration, but I've really enjoyed every minute of it. I know you're not going too far, so hopefully that this is just a change in the way that we collaborate, and look forward to working with you for years to come. And best of luck to you in the next stage of you and your family's life. So thanks for everything.
Thank you, Trustee Cheban. Trustee Johnson?
Yes, I wanted to also wish you well on your next chapter and thank you for all the resources and your expertise that you brought to Houston Community College. Thank you so much. We will miss you.
Thank you. Have we missed anything? Or, all right, moving right along. The following are upcoming meetings. August 7th, the committees and the Committee of the Whole and the special meeting will happen. And August 21st is our regular scheduled meeting. We're not having a meeting next month. These meetings will be held like they always are at the Administration Building, 3100 Main, will be posted according to the Open Meetings Act. This concludes the Chairman's report. We'll now hear from Dr. Ford Fisher with the Chancellor's report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the board. On behalf of the CEC, the Chancellor's Executive Council, we too wish Dr. Burrell Hopkins congratulations. We had a reception planned for Monday for us to acknowledge all of the fine work that Dr. Burrell Hopkins has done while here at HCC, but of course, due to the untimely death of a passing family member, we had to reschedule, which we will do. But we know that Dr. Burrell Hopkins will do an excellent job in her next post as well, and we wish you well. You will always have a family here. Thank you so much for your service. I would also like to comment that on June the 28th, the team at Space Center Houston will host our executive team. This visit will provide a valuable opportunity to showcase the impressive facilities and operations of this renowned organization, as well as engage in meaningful discussions surrounding the potential for a mutually beneficial partnership with each of the HCC colleges. All college presidents have been invited to attend, and we are looking forward to that outreach opportunity for partnerships. When we look at enrollments, HCC's enrollment is currently open both summer and fall. Summer semester credit hour enrollment is at an increase of 4%. The fall enrollment is strong, up over last year by 11%. Fall classes begin August 19th. Commencement. Houston Community College hosted its spring 2024 commencement ceremony at the NRG Stadium on Thursday, June 13th. Hundreds of graduates participated in both morning and afternoon ceremonies. Commencement is, of course, a moment when faculty and staff witness the tangible results of their efforts. It serves as an annual reminder of our purpose and underscores the importance of our why. Congratulations once more to our graduates, our faculty, staff, and administrators for their hard work and dedication. We salute you. Thank you. And we appreciate all of our trustees who were able to attend the commencement ceremonies. Thank you very much. HCC's new status as a Level 2 institution. On June 13th, SACS COC, right as we had completed the first commencement ceremony, we got the news that SACS COC had approved HCC's baccalaureate degrees in artificial intelligence and robotics and healthcare management. The call from Dr. Dunat was made to Dr. Burrish, and she then apprised me as we then celebrated with all of the members of the team. This marks a milestone for HCC and enlarges the pipeline to jobs for thousands in our service area. Thank you to all who contributed to this historic effort and accomplishment. And there were hundreds who were involved across the district to make this happen. Consular Corps Luncheon. Yesterday, we had the privilege of hosting a luncheon for the Consular Corps of Houston. Our esteemed guests included our very own trustees, members of the foundation board, the Chancellor's Business Champions Council, international students, and many others. Over 25 consulants were represented and expressed a desire to partner with HCC. We will follow up on meetings and will update the board as partnership opportunities are developed. I am most grateful to our HCC Board of Trustees for your unwavering support. Thank you also to our trustees who were able to attend the event on yesterday. I'm grateful for the participation of our 14 Centers of Excellence, each showcasing our exceptional programs. It was marvelous. It was such a wonderful event, and I thank all those who contributed to its success. Now, news from the coordinating board. Very briefly, Dr. Harrison Keller, Commissioner of Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, will be stepping down to assume his new role as president of the University of North Texas. As of last notice, a successor has not been named yet, but we will keep our board and members of the faculty, staff, and administration apprised. Next, we'll go to the United Student Council report, and we'll recognize also that they will resume in the fall, and so that report will not be given today. So we'll move next to our Faculty Senate report, and we'll hear from Dr. Dejan Grigsby. Dr. Grigsby.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Chair, Chancellor, trustees, esteemed faculty and staff, and all community guests, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start by sharing my condolences to you, trustee, and to Dr. Perez, and to Dr. Siddiqui, and to Todd Duplantis, and everyone else who needs our care. We mourn because we love, and there's nothing greater. And well, we did it. Another graduation day in the books. Thousands of students swept their tassels from right to left, signifying their achievements and their completions. All made the better when we saw the various backgrounds and the diasporas represented. A multicultural event made even more special with thousands of loved ones cheering it all on. And to have it in June, the month made significant in commemorating a struggle for freedom and then equality for African Americans. Just a special month to have been a part of. A month of Jubilee. And what's that saying? Full circle round. A tenure in review on behalf of the Faculty Senate. Please think back with me. A record-setting fall Bedichek-Orman auction in November. A late winter faculty conference intertwined with our annual Rigor Summit work in February. A late spring faculty retreat in May, and that summer set of graduations in June. And let's not forget the bachelor degree additions to our HCC programming. Congratulations to everyone on that achievement, including our students yet to come. And summer is here quickly passing with the solstice, and we can be proud. I personally can always say I'm proud to have been right here when we crafted new vision under a new leader. And if you didn't know, we are headed to the moon, and we are all invited to get to work. We weathered a change to our fundaments, our funding formula, but this large ship is making the turn. A new voice on campus has been made to stand up, the Staff Senate, and this inaugural year has shown a commitment to collaboration in support of the board and of the Chancellor's vision. The realization and recognition of HCC as a Level 2 institution. Fresh attention is being paid to the academics, all the while leaning into workforce and our centers of excellence. New audiences are being cultivated for online and other learning. Reimagination is coming into play for student services. Fresh technologies are being considered in support of all practices of business, of instruction, of student services, and the list continues. And I can smile and say, I was here when. You know, after a tissue injury, scar tissue wants to lay down in that area. It's the body's way of saying, no, 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 no. It can't and it won't happen here again, not in this place. Sure, perhaps a stronger mass of tissue, but the thing about scar tissue, you lose functional ability. Stronger perhaps, but less function. But if during the healing process you're able to impact those determined fibers in a way to encourage them to just lay straight, perhaps an attractant or even an application of a directional force, then you achieve the repair but retain the function. And two, if you participate in rehab therapy, even stronger perhaps than where you started before the insult. I feel that type of work here. A rip in our matrix, perhaps, with some largish changes, if you will, but with a steady, deliberate, and directional force in the aftermath. And some attractants, too, lest we forget the budget proposals on the table this evening. Chancellor and trustees, thank you for that steady and steadying force and the directional movement. Ever moving forward and to the moon. Stronger than the rip and with improved functional outcome. That's our moonshot. If you didn't know, this position of Faculty Senate President is very special. There aren't many other perches that afford someone this particular view. Insight into the various arenas of work and commitment here at HCC, and into conversations you had only wished to be a part of, if someone would only invite you. And to be here with a seat, with a vote, and an ability to input on behalf of faculty, and to be welcomed. Thank you all for that. And thank you, Dr. Brillo Hopkins, for the legacy of partnership with faculty and staff you leave behind. As was mentioned, always HCC faculty. Always HCC family. I ask that you welcome the next Faculty Senate President with as much, and even more, warmth and support. Excuse me. Dr. Nicole Boutte-Hanilioma. If she is here, would she please stand? She may still be on vacation, I apologize. Okay, thank you. As a Faculty Senate, we are committed to student completion and success, with academic rigor at the fore. That won't change. And if I could please ask all faculty in the room, stand for recognition in that commitment and our gratitude. I have learned so much, and yet I am thankful for even more. And I too look forward to that next chapter of mine, of HCC, this institution where we all dedicate ourselves to the transformative power of education, to our communities, to our nation. And as we've been told, and I quote, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. So, sign me up again and again and again. I am forever grateful for your kind audience, and I look forward to continuing the great work of this special place. Ever onward, ever upward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very, very much, Dr. Grigsby. Excellent presentation. Now I would like to invite Staff Senate President Mr. Aaron Henry to the podium to present the Staff Senate report. President Henry.
Good afternoon. I would first like to offer our condolences on behalf of the staff to Ms. Mahalik, of course, Dr. Siddiqui, Trustee Tamez, Mr. Duplantis, and of course, we would like to offer well wishes to Dr. Barillo Hopkins in her departure from HCC. She will be greatly missed. I am honored to stand before you today as the President of the Staff Senate here at Houston Community College, representing the dedicated employees who work tirelessly to support our mission of educational excellence. Today, I wish to speak about the vision that drives us all, invested in Houston's future. As staff at Houston Community College, we understand that our institution plays a pivotal role in shaping the future of our city. Houston is not just our home, it is a vibrant hub of diversity, innovation, and opportunity. As we navigate through the challenges and opportunities of these times, it is crucial that we keep our North Star firmly in sight, ensuring that every individual in our community has the opportunity to prosper. Houston is a city of contrast. Amidst its thriving economy and cultural richness, there are over 1 million individuals within our service area who are striving for economic security and the chance to build a better future for themselves and for their families. It means expanding access to education that is not only affordable, but transformative. Education that empowers individuals to obtain meaningful employment, to contribute to our economy, and to enrich the social fabric of our great city. And as stewards of education and opportunity, it is indeed our duty and privilege to extend our reach to these individuals. This is our North Star, and this is the mission for the staff here at Houston Community College. Yes, House Bill 8 passed in Texas introduces a new funding model for community colleges that prioritizes student outcomes over enrollment numbers. The primary goal is to align community college funding with workforce needs and ensure institutions focus on student success and economic mobility. The bill outlined many things from outcome-based funding, support for disadvantaged students, performance tiers, and more. And the staff play a critical role in ensuring that we arrive at the points of success envisioned by this very board and Dr. Ford Fisher. Collaborating effectively with the staff, Senate, and this administration is crucial to making the mission of improving student outcomes and aligning community college education with workforce needs a real reality. We are the practitioners, like our faculty colleagues. We are the ones who, day in and day out, make tangible efforts a reality that are set forth by this board and by Dr. Ford Fisher. We hope to engage in transparency, collaborative planning, and decision-making, professional development, and more as we focus on student-centered initiatives, which will ensure that we receive the outcomes our community members deserve. As we close this year, I want to acknowledge some great work of many of our staff who will seek to provide even higher results in the coming years. I want to recognize our rec sports team members in our student services area under the direction of their district director, Ms. Tiffany Lane, and Mr. Chris Dowdy from our various colleges, Ms. Tiara Hartfield. And if they're present, they can stand so the board can recognize who they are. Mr. Terry Woods, Ms. Bynum, and Ms. Frias did some amazing work this year. Trustees, last month, the Recreational Department, along with Central College's Wellness Center, co-hosted an annual Rec Sports Awards ceremony where many students attended this ceremony, being recognized for their involvement in many of our rec sports events, such as baseball, men and women's basketball, soccer, tennis, and volleyball. Students received over 76 awards from various categories, including Most Improved, Most Dedicated, Most Outstanding, and so many other. In addition, I'd like to include that these students that were announced to the all-academic team. Students earning this award participated in both fall and spring semesters, have completed at least 12 hours, and have a minimum GPA of 3.25. The tennis club holds the highest GPA of the year. There are so many accomplishments that our staff members are supporting this institution with. I'd like to highlight the amazing work that the district is working with the district director, Ms. Afra Hassan, and others with the project team with My OneFlow. With this use of this technology tool, our admissions advisors will be able to help navigate our students through the enrollment process more seamlessly. This is exciting because it shatters the barriers of getting our community in our doors to benefit what this institution offers. The We Care team, led by Ms. Flowers and others in creating the environment we need to ensure our students have no choice but to be successful. Ms. Flowers and the We Care team, under the direction of Dr. Fortune, are connecting behavioral commitments and attitudes that will support the mission of this institution. Last, I would like to thank Mr. Warren Hurd and Chief Ramirez for responding to the need of engaging in collaboration with myself and the staff to support the concerns of our staff and faculty communities in regards to our campus safety. And finally, Friday, June 28th, we will host the very first staff conference, where over 300 staff members will engage in a day-long of professional development. The college can't afford to send all staff members to national conferences, but with the support of our chancellor, Mr. Atkins, Dr. Perez, and Dr. Burridge, and others, this conference is already a success. Trustees, staff are thankful for the opportunity to engage and connect to do our jobs even better. Some of the sessions include the use of AI in higher ed, a culture of innovation from transactional and advising to transformational advising, and to Campus Connect. How all of us can help play a role in recognizing recruitment and outreach is everybody's job here at HCC. In closing, HCC staff are ready to respond to this call even higher. In the next year, as I move to my final year in leading this work, I'm personally committed because of the personal commitments like many of you have made for us. Particularly, I would like to again acknowledge Trustee Tamez, who invested in me, I'll never forget, as a young kid at Yates High School, and Cindy. And it's because of that commitment that I was able to get a job in HIC at 18 years old. It was that investment that helped push me now to Dr. Ford Fisher. I'm working on that doctorate. A little boy from 3rd Ward, I made it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, President Henry. And we have one final report, and this one is from a Pathway Advisor, Ian Santi-Benitez, who will provide a brief summary on HCC's Caring Campus initiative. Mr. Santi-Benitez.
Good afternoon, Chancellor Ford Fisher, esteemed members of the board, presidents, vice presidents, and all else in attendance. As stated, my name is Ian Santi-Benitez. I'm an academic advisor at Northwest, and I'm here to share with you some exciting and transformative news that are being implemented through the Caring Campus initiative. This initiative is designed to foster a supportive and inclusive environment for our students, ensuring their success and well-being throughout their academic journey here at HCC. As one of the executive chairs of the We Care Committee tasked with implementing this initiative, I am proud to share our efforts and drive to cultural change and behavioral change through our 5 key behaviors: the 10-foot rule, wearing name tags and badges, promoting cross-departmental awareness, providing warm referrals, and welcoming students warmly. The Caring Campus Initiative is a strategic effort aimed at enhancing student retention and success by building stronger connections between our students and staff members. It focuses on fostering a campus culture where every student feels valued, supported, and connected. As Tinto stated in 1994, students go where they feel welcome, but they stay where they feel cared for. This initiative involves comprehensive training for faculty and staff to better equip them with the skills and strategies necessary to create a positive and engaging interaction with our students. By prioritizing these relationships, we aim to create a more welcoming and encouraging atmosphere here at HCC. Since the launch of our Caring Campus initiative, we have witnessed several significant accomplishments. The Caring Campus leadership team has participated in many professional development events at Northwest and Southwest colleges, where we have presented the Caring Campus initiative along with the 5 key behaviors. The We Care committee has also created and performed a skit focusing on these behavioral commitments at the Student Success Summit for over 300 HCC staff and faculty members. I'm happy to say that this skit was well received and yielding positive feedback from both leadership and our colleagues. Our vision is to extend the reach of this initiative, ensuring that every staff member on every campus is not only trained, but also engaged with the principles and practices that define our commitment to student care. To achieve this, we plan to integrate the 5 key behaviors into the new hire orientation for all new all new staff members, ensuring that these values are instilled from day one. Additionally, we will continue offering ongoing professional development for our ongoing team members to better support, better equip, and inspire them. And in order to foster a culture of appreciation and motivation, we also plan to recognize and celebrate these staff members along with students who exemplify these behaviors. The Caring Campus initiative is much more than just an initiative. It is a commitment to creating an environment where every student feels seen, valued, and supported. The accomplishments we have achieved so far are only the beginning. With your continued support, we can ensure that the Caring Campus initiative not only sustains its momentum, but extends its impact, paving the way for a brighter, more inclusive future for all of our students and staff. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Santibáñez, and all presenters. And thank you to our board for giving us this opportunity. Mr. Chair, this now concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor, for your report. And I'd like to make a special thank you to Dr. Grigsby and Mr. Henry for the roles that they've played this year and how they've helped this institution to become at a higher level. And the people that are going to have to fill their shoes better be up for the game, because we expect it to be a higher level next year after that, and 1 year to build on the next year. And you've left a great foundation for us. So thank you all. A citizen desiring to appear before the Board of Trustees shall complete the application for hearing 24 hours prior to the meeting and file said application with Board Service Office. Time allocated to each citizen or organization shall be limited to 4 minutes. The board may stop any speaker who makes complaints against a specific trustee or employee, or comments about appointments, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a specific employee, and may require the speaker to resume his or her comments in closed session as permitted under the personnel exception in the Open Meetings Act. The following person is signed up to appear before the board tonight. Julius Moore. Is Mr. Moore here? Please come forward. You have 4 minutes. Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank the board for allowing me to come and speak.
Lift up that microphone so we hear you, please. Yes.
I'm kind of tall.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you guys for allowing me to come and speak. I just want to say that I've been affiliated with Houston Community College for years. Came to Houston Community College to get my GPA up, and then I wound up going to Texas A&M University, where I finished and got my engineering degree. Coming back into the Houston market as a contractor, got all of my certifications that I needed to start my own small business. I had several contracts with the Houston Community College, and on my 4th contract, that's the one I'm here to talk about now, which was a LED lighting contract number IFB 1703. That contract was put out for solicitation. I bid it on that contract. All the specs on that contract was given in a solicitation through HCC, where they hired a third party to give the information that I was provided to bid off of. As I bid it off of that, I noticed that I was awarded the contract, and when I came in to sign for the contract, they told me that I made a mistake in my contract, where I literally wrote the numbers down numerically was different from when I spelled it out. So they asked me, was I going to lower my price to honor that? I did that. Well, when it came time for me to perform, I started performing. This was one of the campuses that we worked at. The contract was changing out all the lights in here. As we got around to doing it, upon my second campus, I brought it back to the people that was awarding me the contract, told them that the number of lights was incorrect that we was providing, supposed to be putting in. They said they would get back with me on that. They never did. So when I got to the third campus, I started going back, putting the outside lights. That was part of the contract. I noticed that the specs called for the outside lights to be 110 amps, which was called 110. Well, all the lights that I purchased, when I put the lights in, they was blowing out in less than a day or two. I had a third-party master electrician come out to explain to me why that was happening. They come to find out that all the exterior fixtures was wired for a 220 amp. Well, the specs that HCC provided for me to use was on a 110. I asked HCC what to do with that again. They said they'll get back with me. Well, when I had 9 campuses to do, when I got down to the 7th and 8th campus, I didn't have enough of my fixtures to do it. I asked them would they pay for the difference for me to redo to be able to fulfill them. They said no. I asked them what we was going to do about the outside lights. They said they'll get back with me. No one never got back with me. 3-4 weeks later, they contacted me, told me I had to go to all 9 campuses and take the exterior lights and move them out. I said, are you guys going to redo the lights? They said, this particular time, a decision has not been made, but we need the space because classes are getting ready to start back again for the fall session. So what they had me to do was take all the lights, move them over to your warehouse that you had on Knight Road. I took photographs of me taking the lights over there, of you, HCC having the lights stored in their warehouse. I have pictures and everything of that. Prior to all of that, I got sued from my vendor because HCC never paid for the outside lights to be performed. They never gave me the retainage. So my vendor then contacted HCC and asked them to pay them. When I contacted HCC back, they told me they couldn't talk to me anymore because a third-party legal department had contacted them, and then they would have to have my legal team to reach their legal team. After all that expenses, I had to wind up filing bankruptcy. It caused me personal, financial, and all that other stuff. And I know that HCC did not want a small business to fall. That's my time going. I just would like to have this thing rectified and get it a resolution about what happened to me.
Yes, sir, your time is up, and we appreciate your concerns you've raised during the hearing the citizens portion of this meeting. If the matter wasn't on the agenda, we can't speak to that because it's not an agenda item, but we will take into account what you said, and we'll get back with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We're now ready to consider the consent agenda. Please note that item 7 has been pulled and item 14 is pulled. Are there any more items that trustee?
Item 11, please.
11? All right, item number 11. Any other trustees? All right. So we're now ready to consider the remainder of the agenda items. Is there a motion to approve of the consent agenda item?
Second.
So moved and second.
Okay. Thank you. Any more discussion? Seeing none, let's vote.
Sharon, my vote is yes.
Oh.
Hello, received. Thank you, received. Voting has concluded. The motion passed with a vote of 7 to 0.
Thank you. We'll now consider item number 7, approval of the unrestricted operating budget for fiscal year 24-25. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Okay. It's been moved and seconded. We'll now have a discussion regarding the item. The presentation of the...
There was
Item
a
is 11.
there was a request from Trustee Davies to pull this item, but I don't see that he's joined us. He was going to join remotely. But am I correct, Sharon? Is this the item that he requested be pulled?
Yes, that is correct.
So, Mr. Chair, it's up to you whether you'd like to proceed with discussion. I don't know if any other board members have any questions. If not,
Since he's not here, and there's no motion and there's no second, it fails.
well, there was a motion and a second. So it's before the board now. The question now is whether there's any discussion or if the board would like to move to a vote.
The motion on the floor is the consideration of the item, not any
Correct.
amendments, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah. So we can proceed to a vote? Yeah.
So let's just vote on the amendment then.
We're voting on the item.
The amendment,
There's no amendment on the
the
floor.
agenda item.
No amendment has been made.
First.
The agenda
Okay,
item.
all right. So we're now voting on item 7.
Correct.
The budget, which I don't know whether anyone's interested in the audience about this item, but we're going to be voting on the budget. So all in favor of item 7, approval of the unrestricted operating budget for fiscal year 2024, please vote now.
My vote is yes, Sharon in Laredo.
Received. Voting has concluded. The motion passed with a vote of 7 to 0.
All
A
right.
lot of smiling faces.
I guess they did care.
Smiling faces.
So we're now ready to consider item 11.
Correct.
So moved.
Is there a motion to consider, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We'll now have discussion.
I asked that this be pulled to offer a quick amendment, and the purpose of this amendment is cleanup so that the entire item is consistent with the conversation that we had at committee meetings. We amended the tables in the attached materials, but never the splash page. And so the splash page still shows the old total amount for deferred maintenance. And so the amendment that I would like to make is the third primary bullet, which speaks to the amount for deferred maintenance. The 10.8s would both be replaced with 4.0 million, both on the third primary bullet and the subsequent secondary bullet, and the at every location in the secondary bullet would be removed. And I'll read it in its entirety for clarity.
If I could clarify from a procedural standpoint, that cover sheet is not the item.
Yeah.
So the amendment was made to the budget itself, and then the amended budget was attached to the agenda item. So you don't need to make another amendment in order for that amendment to be implemented, because it was implemented when the committee of the whole approved it. And so this is just a cover sheet. And so from a procedural standpoint, the changes aren't made to the cover sheet, it's made to the actual budget itself.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess in email correspondence, I'd asked that this be updated so it was all consistent, so there was no confusion about what we were, and I was told that was beyond what we could do. So.
Correct. So we don't make changes to what was presented to the committee, but there is a note on the agenda that says as amended, and the amendment is included in the attached documentation. So there was a change made to the budget itself. You don't need to make the amendment again for the cover sheet. We just typically, as a procedural matter, don't change what has gone through the committee.
Okay, so just for my own clarity, teachable moment, apologize,
Yeah.
y'all. when we vote on this, it does not authorize the reallocation of $10.8 million for deferred maintenance. It instead authorizes 3.98 ... million for deferred maintenance per the attachments.
The attachment is what controls, yes. So the change was made to the actual budget.
All right.
Trustee Cheapen, would you be more comfortable having it in writing somewhere?
So as an engineer, numbers that don't match in a document make me nervous. So that was my intent there is just harmony. You know, the yin and the yang all have to match up and fit. So
It's in the minutes. We can include, and I can talk with Sharon about how to potentially do this in the agenda materials, maybe an additional cover sheet behind.
Or could we just have an email from you saying
Sure.
what you
Yes,
told us?
absolutely.
Would that be okay with you?
absolutely.
We can do that.
That way, nobody
For-
goes to us for 10.
Yes, and so, yeah, I will send an email, but for purposes of records retention and what stays on file with the college, the minutes will reflect the amendment. This has the actual budget that's been changed in there, and then I guess everything that I'm explaining now will be in the video recording of the meeting as well, but I'll send an email confirming all of that.
All right. No, I appreciate that, and appreciate your patience, y'all. 7 months on the job, I'm still learning things every day. So.
Are there any other comments for the board? Trustee Laredo. Okay.
No comment. I'm ready to vote.
Okay, let's vote. If she's ready to vote, we're going to vote. Please vote.
It's a yes for me, Sharon E. Villaredo.
Received. Voting has concluded. The motion passed with a vote of 7-0.
Okay, we'll now consider item 14, adopt Chancellor's performance evaluation instructions for 23-24. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and second. We'll now have a discussion regarding the item. Dr. Ford Fisher will provide clarification on this item.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the board. This evaluation tool was presented as a sample for consideration as was used in the past. It is, of course, after review, it is one that has several required modifications to correct the use of pronouns in some instances and to remove all items that pertain directly to DEI in others. With your permission, Mr. Chair, I invite Dr. Izzy Anderson, Vice Chancellor of Human Resources and Chief Human Resources Officer, to come to the podium to address the item. Dr. Anderson.
Thank you. Trustees, Chancellor. Simply, items 21 and 64 contain some typos in the pronouns specifically that require correction. And more substantively, items 9, 13, 38, 44, and 57 have language that may run afoul or counter to Senate Bill 17 and other applicable laws. And so we will be deleting those items accordingly. That is the amendment.
Will you be bringing it back to us then?
We can bring
Is that
it
what
back.
you're saying in
Certainly.
August?
Precisely.
Okay, great.
We can either bring it back, we can make a motion to postpone, or we can make a motion to amend it now to remove the language that Izzy's identified.
Right.
That conflicts with Senate Bill 17. And so if the board is comfortable voting on it as is, then we'll need an amendment from the board to remove the language that Izzy's identified. Or if the board would prefer, you can do a motion to postpone until August.
Sure. Mr. Chair, I'd like to respond. This is the same tool that has been used over several years, and this was given to us as a sample document, and we were not to make changes to it when it came before the board previously. As we reviewed it, we saw these items that really would conflict with Senate Bill 17, and we also saw the misuse of pronouns there. And so if we could amend this now, that would be very helpful to us as we move forward. And then, of course, we would have a corrected document to present to the board.
Mr. Secretary.
I would prefer an amendment right now. Is there someone who wants to make a motion?
I have a question.
Okay.
So what we have isn't a red line copy. Is what we have just the fixed copy?
What you have before you is, because it's the consent agenda, is what was presented at the prior meeting. And so the amendment today is that this still is what we would utilize with the amendment of the correction of the pronoun from him to her, he to she, et cetera, and then removing items that may run afoul Senate Bill 17. So those items would be deleted. So everything else remains the same. We don't have the red line version because this is the regular meeting, and so we're just proposing that amendment. And then the final, if you approve the amendment, the final copy would be consistent with what the amendment you vote on today.
So we don't have any copy of the corrected document in front of us.
Not before you today. But when we make those changes, we could provide that in either a WOB or through a memo to the board.
Are we still within our timeline?
Yes, I believe, and Sharon can provide, I'm not certain of the date that this instrument was to be distributed. It's September 30th is the deadline.
Oh, so we're
September
okay.
30th is the deadline to complete. We're scheduled to do the actual board self-assessment and chancellor evaluation on August the 7th as part of the committee of the whole. ACCT will conduct the assessment and the evaluation, and they normally upload the questions through a portal. So we will have to work with them to have the document, those numbers removed and corrected.
And this is the exact instrument we used with our last chancellor? It's the exact one, it seems?
Yes.
like?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it is.
All right.
Yeah. Items 21 and 64 had him or he.
So can we clarify which items are, again,
Yes,
for
ma'am.
the public record, which items for the amendment that will be eliminated from this document? What item numbers are those, please?
Absolutely. Items 9, 13, 38, 44, and 57.
And for the record, let the record reflect that these 5 items are deleted as a result of the Senate bill concerning DEI.
Correct.
So that we are not in violation of what the Texas House requires us to do as an education entity.
Exactly.
And so just the elimination of these, and of course, then all the numbers have to.
They will be
changed.
renumbered accordingly. Yes, ma'am.
But we can vote on it as amended with the understanding, according to the public record, that 9, 13, 38, 44, and 57 would be eliminated so that we are in compliance with the Texas House.
Precisely.
Can I say that?
You want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we amend, what are we amending? What is the formal title of this thing? That we amend that we adopt the Chancellor's performance evaluation instrument with the amendment of the eliminations of items 9, 13, 38, 44, 57 in compliance with the DEI requirements of the Texas House.
And correction to items 21 and 64.
And correction to items 21 and 64.
Grammatical correction.
Do I hear a second? Or
Second.
is there any discussion of any other? This is on the amendment. Is there any?
Mr. Secretary, I am very old school and I learned by reading. So just in the future, if we could have any sort of documentation, even if it's a documentation of it changes, et cetera, that would be very helpful, just for me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Will do. Thank you.
I have a question. I'm probably going a bit out of order with the Robert's Rules of Order stack, but was a similar review conducted on the board assessment and found that there were no similar SB 17 violations in that wording?
That's a different analysis because Senate Bill 17 applies specifically to employment situations, and because you are conducting an evaluation of an employee, there's a different analysis. I will review the board self-assessment instrument to make sure that there aren't any issues there, but this we flagged this because it is an employment scenario.
Thank you.
Are there any more comments? Seeing none, we'll be ready to vote.
For minute clarification, may I get the second on that?
Seconded.
Thank you.
So,
Are we voting?
Yes, we're voting on the amendment, Trustee Laredo.
Okay.
Sorry.
My vote is yes.
Rec-
Laredo.
Received.
Thank you.
Voting has concluded. The motion passed with a vote of 7-0.
All right, now we're, have we had a motion and a second for the actual? Okay, is there any discussion on the item? Seeing none, we're ready to vote.
Sharon, my vote is yes. Laredo.
Received.
Thank you.
Voting has concluded. The motion passed with a vote of 7-0 as amended.
All right, we're ready for the regular agenda. Is there a motion to approve item A, financial budgeting, planning, and management software solution cooperative agreement?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Dr. Ford Fisher will introduce the item.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the board. This item is presented to authorize the Chancellor to execute a contract with Carasoft Technology Corporation for the purchase and installation of a new financial budgeting, planning, and management software solution. This recommendation is in accordance with Chapter 44.031A of the Texas Education Code and Chapter 791 of the Government Code. With your permission, Mr. Chair, I invite Interim Vice Chancellor of Finance, Mr. Jacob Atkin, to come to the podium to answer all questions. Mr. Atkin.
Thank you. It's good to be with you this afternoon. This was on the agenda last month, and it was postponed so that we could provide additional information. You can see the 4 attachments I have included regarding the product that we are seeking to purchase and implement at HCC. With that, I will take any questions.
Any questions, board members?
Just want to say quickly, thank you for providing that additional information and giving us the time to review it. Did want to share just a general reaction. There's this item, we've talked about other software purchases coming. I think there was one on the blackout list over the next month. At some point, it would be helpful to get kind of a longer-term view, next 3 to 5 years of software purchases that are coming. Again, my experience in my day job with software is the cost can snowball pretty quickly, and if that ends up being a large amount of money over the next 5 years, it would be good to start wrangling with that in the context of some of the other bigger moves, either for tuition or such that we've talked about over the last couple months, or deferred maintenance or other items. So I think that 5-year vision of necessary upgrades because of obsolescence or for staff optimization would be really helpful to see.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I have a question concerning the internal audit reports that were requested for our enterprise risk management so that we could appropriately evaluate a pathway for, a collective pathway for the directions that we're going for each of these departments. One of my questions with this software is there was no report. There's not a report. Where's my internal audit team? Are they in here?
Yes, Mr. Corrigan is here.
Okay.
Ms. Corrigan?
So we requested.
Please come to the podium.
We requested internal audits of departments as a result of our new enterprise risk management system. So the question is now, where are those reports? How does one of those reports affect the purchasing, the integrated technology, and financial planning purchases for this kind of software? Which report affects this? Or is there a report that reflects this?
We have not done a specific report or audit on this specific topic.
So for our enterprise, one of the challenges for the enterprise risk management system that is now newly implemented is that we needed to understand first we don't know what we don't know. Second, to establish an instrument such that we can identify risk as it relates to fiscal impact. And then third, what we would have to do in order to balance all 10 enterprise risk management systems, each of the risks in the risk management system, so that we can mitigate any possible risks. When are these reports going to be done? Because they are to be done by the departments and the persons responsible in those departments. When are those reports going to be done?
Well, I can't give you specific dates on when that will be done. We're supposed to have metrics, reporting on what metrics we're going to report. That is supposed to be in our schedule for August.
So the metrics are operational, fiscal, and statistical, correct?
That should be the case, yes.
Okay. When we make these kinds of purchases, we have an external auditor that is new that is coming. We have a new enterprise risk management system that has a reporting standard so that we can maintain a clear and transparent viewpoint of which direction we are currently going and what direction we should be going in. Purchasing software for an IT system that we have yet to evaluate. We did read the audit report on the audit committee report on IT systems, and there were some substantial interests that we need to dissect in order to appropriately understand where we are, where we're not, and where we should be going. When we purchase software packages ahead of that schedule, we literally purchase them in the continued structure of vacuums. We have silos in this system. Each silo makes decisions independent of the other silos, and then ultimately we come back in the following year and we find the anomalies that we should have corrected prior to making those decisions. We are still in that mode. My concern with this, and there's another purchase in the system, I know that the anomalies that I requested in writing are anomalies that I know that should have been corrected by now, and they are not. So this is not a software package that I am ready to or prepared to support until I see those reports that should be coming to the audit committee. The internal audit reports were very compelling and very telling. And it gave us a clear view of what we should be looking at and how we should focus those enterprise risks. The enterprise risk management system is incredibly robust, and I think that it will show that there are some issues that we must repair before we make decisions of this sort. So I am going to leave this decision to the board, to the remainder of the board, because as someone who had to program in IT for a living and someone who had to do commercial cost estimating, I am not comfortable making this decision today. I could make this decision later, but not today.
Thank you, Trustee. I have a question. Did you, have a criteria and compare software A, B, C, and D, or is this a standalone?
So we did not formally compete this as we used a cooperative. The team did review a number of different options as we looked for a new budgeting tool for the institution and identified this one as the most favorable in terms of capacity and offerings for improvements in our current process.
Do you have a metric by which you can measure whether this performs and does what you want us to buy it for, does, or, what kind of standard do you have that you can look at this and make sure it's working and ultimately we're getting our money's worth,
So some of the issues that we're trying to address with this system relate to the management of personnel. Please remember that we have 6,000 positions that we try to manage. Those are budgeted. We have to keep track of when they're vacant, when they become open, the grades for each of those positions, which departments those positions are being charged to. And one small example of how this is going to help us, right now, our budget team manually goes through and monitors that and prepares a report every 2 weeks regarding that issue alone. This will help to automate these processes so that instead of exporting data out of PeopleSoft and trying to manipulate and manage it in Excel, this is a plugin that will pull that information in real time so that we are not routinely updating this information manually, but that we have it updated in real time as we make changes in PeopleSoft. It'll automatically feed into this system for distribution and use by management. So this software does not only impact the budget office. Obviously, we will use it the most, but this will be utilized as a reporting tool for every manager in every single department. In terms of metrics, I don't have those formally organized right now for discussion with the board, but yes, there are a number of items that we are trying to address. Most specifically, the automation of the budgeting process and the ability to generate these reports. You saw examples of some of the dashboards that are available. Those will be updated in real time as opposed to us having to do this on a monthly basis. So this legitimately will probably save us the equivalent of several FTEs in terms of day-to-day manual labor operations.
Are there any more questions from the board? Yes, Chancellor.
I would like to say, Mr. Chair, members of the board, that we did have a conversation about this morning with Mr. Atkin as well as with IT, Ms. Prestige. And we also have reviewed additional information pertaining to the system that we currently have. And we were looking at what would be the end of life of the system that we currently have and the bolt-ons that we have as well. And so they decided that in the best interest of how we move forward with the timeline is to look at the discovery of what we currently have, the issues associated with what we currently have, implementation and recommendations that would come from that. And so the team is working on that. As of course, I was told that they had begun working on this anyway, so that they could make recommendations. So that's where we are now. And so we are anticipating that we can move forward expeditiously on this. We do know that some of the staff members are going to be shifting some of their workloads to this specifically, that was determined this morning, in order to identify what it is that we need in addition to what we currently have. And then that timeline for how we can move forward to address some of these issues across those functional areas that will be in demand.
All right, well, I believe we're ready to vote. Cast your votes.
Sharon, my vote is yes.
Received.
Laredo.
Voting has concluded. The motion passed with a vote of 5 in favor, 2 opposing.
Is there a motion to approve item B, HVAC lab ventilation renovation at South Central Campus?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion, or would you introduce the item, Chancellor?
Happy to. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. This item is presented to recommend authorization from the board for the chancellor to execute a contract with HTX Industries LLC, the lowest responsible bidder, meeting specifications to provide HVAC lab ventilation renovation, Central South Campus, in accordance with IFB 24-38. So with your permission, Mr. Chair, I invite Mr. Atkin and Mr. Tegezewit to come to the podium to address this item.
Under this project, we will be expanding the hood and ventilation system in the workforce portion of Central South Campus. This will allow us to better maximize the space that we already have available in that facility, and it will allow us to add brazing to our offerings within that space. With that, I would take any questions.
Trustees?
Mr. Chair, where does the scope of work take place in which building?
So Central South?
Correct. This is in the workforce building at Central South, and it is retrofitting a space that currently does not have the hood for the brazing activities. Adding the hood would require for us to also have makeup air in order to maintain the conditioned space.
Which room is this in the
This
building?
is 2,030 square feet in classroom. I'll have to get you that information.
Okay, so currently, welding cannot take place wherever this space is because there's no ventilation, and ventilation was not originally put in the building when it was built.
That is correct.
And the only place that there is ventilation is in the welding room,
That
in
is
the welding
correct.
classroom.
So this will
is
be
not
for
the
the,
welding
this is
classroom.
not the welding classroom. This is for another space that's going to be used for brazing or joining different metals with the capacity of up to 8 students.
Okay, so I guess for clarity for my trustees, brazing is a particular kind of welding that is in very high demand, in particular for HVAC systems. And when I say extremely high demand, it is the equivalent of being at the top of your welding game. Standardized welding classes cannot teach this. And I do have to say, they found out that women are much better at it because we put on our makeup better. So I'm pleased to see that brazing will be one of the items that will take place. But the question is brazing going to be part of a credential of value as a separate item, or will you have to take HVAC in order to get access to brazing?
I'm not sure. I'll have to get you that answer.
It would be good to have it as a credential of value. Thank you.
I appreciate the clarification. I thought we were talking about cooking. I was very confused. I was like, how can we roast without being able to braise?
It's usually included in the welding classes.
Yes, Mr. Sheehan.
So I'm supportive of this. I wanted to make a statement about opportunities for the board to look at the policy around this. It burns me, again, as an engineer who's done procurement in my day job, that we're paying or we're saving about $16,000, but extending the schedule on this project from 2 months to 5 months. It burns my engineering soul to see that trade-off for such a small amount of money. And I know that the way our policy is written, this goes to the lowest bidder, and so we're following the rules, and that's what we should do. But I think we have an opportunity to provide just a little bit of flexibility where the cost saving is so little, but the schedule saving could be so enormous, so that we can do the right thing by our students and get this out of the way over the summer versus have it extend into the school year. So I'll be voting for it because we've got to follow the rules as they're written today, but I think we have an opportunity to help provide flexibility and streamline a little bit so we don't do things like this and just tack on schedule for very little upside on the financial side. So thank you.
Mr. Chairman. I have to agree with Trustee Cheban, and I also have to say that at South Campus, things seem to take years to get done. So I was not a bit surprised that this would take 6 months. I was not surprised. As a matter of fact, I would have expected it to say a year, because things do not get done within a time frame that is appropriate at South Campus. And can we please get rid of the word central?
Chancellor?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'm
So,
sorry.
yeah, I just, he's very correct in that, you know, you save $16,000 and you have a 6-month and 20-day extension. And this kind of renovation does not take that long. It simply does not. But clearly, I will be visiting, so we shall see. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr.
I
Chair.
agree also. Oh, I'm sorry. I agree also that I looked at that and I said we should go with the second one because it's going to give us less time, more money. But yeah, time is money.
Very good, and thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I saw Dr. Webster in the back as well, and I was going to ask him about the brazing and the credential of value as a stackable certificate so that we could get some conclusive answer to that question. Dr. Webster, please.
So the lab that's in use is a primarily continuing ed, so it'll be part of that credential of value, which is an institutional certificate. So yes, the
Okay, but-
uh,
brazing is
It's
it's
different.
a very specialized
Yes,
skill,
it
and
is.
you don't pick it up in 2-3 days. So definitely something worth. It's definitely a marketable skill for whoever goes through the course.
Well, and Mr. Chair and Madam Chancellor, I have to say that the one corporation, Daikin Corporation, is probably 400 people short on just bracing welders. And so they train their own on the job, which takes several months. So this is really an opportunity for it to be a standalone credential of value for those welders who want to up their game. And it's not only used on the surface in terms of dry land, it's also used in underwater welding. This is a very serious upgrade for Houston Community College. We can really change the game in welding if we look at those highly specialized welding areas. And I'm really glad to see that this will happen, but I sincerely hope that we can create a credential of value that is strictly for brazing for those who already have welding experience. I think it would be very good. Thank you.
I have a question. How many stations will this handle?
So this is for one Venahood with one station, and it will accommodate up to 8 students.
Do they have 8 separate within that one Venahood? So
That is correct.
it'll handle 8 at one time. Okay. And also, how was this spec'd out on time? What was the requirement in the specs on time?
On the procurement, I believe that it's a standard language for the contractor to give us a not to exceed amount of time.
And what was that, 180 days or what?
I'm not sure what the procurement language was. I'm sorry.
I understand, time is money. I understand, especially when you get to be an old coot like me. Time is real important. But if it's not spec'd out, I don't see how we can make any changes right now. And if it's bid within the specs, we're going to have to take our lumps and go with the 147 days. But that's unfortunate. Maybe we should look at procurement and cut that down next time. If there's no other discussion, we're ready to vote.
Sharon, yes, for me. Eva Laredo.
Received. Voting has concluded. The motion passed with a vote of 7-0.
Is there a motion to approve item C, personnel agenda, full-time faculty, academic year contract renewal?
So moved.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, Dr. Ford Fisher will introduce the item.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the board. This item presents, as you indicated, the personnel agenda for full-time faculty academic year contract renewals. Full-time contracted faculty are employed under academic year term employment contracts on an annual basis as outlined under DCA Legal, Employment Practices, Term Contracts. So with your permission, Mr. Chair, I invite Dr. Izzy Anderson, Vice Chancellor for Human Resources and Chief Human Resources Officer, to present the item. Dr. Anderson.
Thank you, Chancellor. Now that we have a budget, thank you very much. I am so pleased, and it's always a great item to bring before you. We have 841 full-time contracts this year for your approval. These are full-time faculty.
Are there any questions from the board? Seeing none, we're ready to vote.
Thank you.
A vote is yes, Sherry.
Acknowledged.
Laredo.
Received.
We need all those employees.
Voting has concluded. The motion passed with a vote of 7-0.
We will move to item D, report on capital improvement program. This is a report item. No action is required. Dr. Ford Fisher will introduce the item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. This item presents an update on HCCS's capital improvement projects. With your permission, Mr. Chair, I invite Fernando Tezowick to present the report. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Chancellor, Chair, and board members. This is the capital improvement report for HCC. Under the collaboratorium, we have a couple of ongoing projects for CIP 2.0. We have North Forest Collaboratorium, the Central Culinary Shell build-out, Northwest Katy Irrigation, and Northwest Katy Greenhouse. Currently, the Katy Irrigation is wrapping up, and we're moving into the Katy Greenhouse portion out at Katy. Culinary is going well. We're almost completed with that project. And Collaboratorium, we're finishing up construction documents in order to move into procurement. For the Southeast Retail Demolition and the View Corridor, those we have provided some information for the board to review as far as decision-making on moving forward with that contract. And once we have a contract, we will move forward with that project. We had discussion, and you'll be hearing a little bit more about food service and the white boxes. Those projects are going well. We had two projects that have had a little bit of a lag at Central South Campus. We had some problems with plumbing and permitting. And then over at Stafford, we had problems with permitting and the architects. So those are moving into Q4 as far as completion. But the Northeast Campus and the East Side Campus are complete. One of the caveats with that is that we're changing the scope to add some temporary walls to make those spaces a little bit more usable for students. As you'll be hearing, we're hoping to institute enhanced vending at the colleges to help provide more dining options for our students. Under HERF, West Loop project is going well. That one is set to be completed by July 1st, which, if you're looking at your calendar, is coming up really, really quickly. Had a meeting today. The status is going well. We have a couple of items that we're waiting for, and I think that ribbon cutting is scheduled for mid-July. Access control and manual access control are both part of the system-wide safety and security initiative. Manual access control, we are tallying bids currently for those efforts to change over the door to hardware at the campuses to lockable hardware to better protect students and staff. And then access control, that's a digital access control process that in essence will give us the ability to upgrade the backbone of the IT infrastructure to allow us to have more badge access and improve badge access, as well as some more cameras in the system. That one is in design. Once it goes through design, then we will go through procurement. The system, and okay, thank you. Somebody's changing the slides for me. Appreciate that. The main parking garage control system is currently in design to upgrade and allow us to lower and raise the access to the main garage. It's currently on a legacy system that's not supported, and the operations of that system is not practical for the traffic flow. And that's it for CIP. The financials, as well as some pictures of current progress, are included in the report for you, if you have any questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Trustee Johnson.
Page 2 on the North Forest Collaboratorium. Are you in the procurement stage, or are you done with the procurement stage?
We are finishing design documents. We're about to go into the procurement stage.
So you're not completed it yet? You haven't started, you haven't put any
We
notification?
haven't started on construction, no. Our construction documents are about 95%. The firm that we have hired to do those design documents, we've been asking for those, and it's been slow.
Are you going to make that projected completion date?
We are going to probably not make Q4 of the completion date. That is probably going to go into fiscal year 2025.
Okay.
Any other questions? Mr. Chiba?
Thank you. Question for you about contingency.
Yes.
So I was looking back at the April SIP report, and it looks like we've drawn down contingency by about 25%, a little over $1 million in the last 2 months. Just curious if you could speak to, and written afterwards is fine. I apologize. I didn't send this to you ahead of time so you could have all your notes ready. But speak to a little bit of why that drawdown happened, and more importantly, if we're seeing kind of structural drivers that are driving the cost of these projects up, if you envision a future where we may have to top up contingency in that account because inflation, et cetera. So,
specifically, any one project or just overall?
Just the overall level of contingency in the account going from $4 million to just shy of $3 million.
So some of that has been West Loop, and as we're nearing the end of the project, we're drawing down a lot of the contingency dollars, trying to finish out that project. We've had a lot of discovery in those final phases. One of the things that we're working with procurement and finance is to kind of better outline that process so we have clear communication about when the change orders happen. Costs are increasing, and it would be very helpful to be able to add contingency not only to capital improvement projects but also DM projects. A lot of times DM projects are deemed as one replacements. However, the complexity of old equipment in old buildings really poses a challenge, and sometimes at the end of a project, we will get to a point where we are out of our contractual amount and do not have a contingency amount to go to. So it really lags the process.
Just to rephrase to make sure I heard you correctly, in this instance, it's probably a single project that's driving that, and we don't yet see a systemic issue, but WatchPoint definitely.
Correct.
Okay,
and for West Loop, definitely that one is one where we have had several change orders within this last reporting period.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Chair.
Trustee Vanderbilt Stalwart.
You touched on the facilities, the part of the facilities that will handle food service. And I see that's coming up on item E. Are we going to see those statements in detail in item E?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have questions.
Any other board questions? I have a question on page 2, the Northwest Katy Greenhouse. Are we spending CIP money on that?
So that was actually a donation that was made to the college. So we're reflecting it in CIP because it's an improvement that does add to the worth. But no, those were not
Okay,
those dollars.
great. All right, anyone else have anything? If not, we'll thank you for the report.
Thank you.
We'll move to item E, the System Food Services Update. This is a report item, no actions required. Dr. Ford Fisher will introduce the item.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the board. This item provides an update on the system food services for students, faculty, staff, and tenants at our locations. And with your permission, Mr. Chair, I invite Mr. Tegezwit to present the item.
Thank you so much. Okay, so this is where you're going to hear the detail about the food service update. This isn't a work that's going on in a vacuum. We are working with a multidisciplinary task force in order to bring this to Houston Community College. So where we are coming from, post-pandemic food services were a high priority, and we recognized that as we were coming off of the pandemic, our offerings at some of the campuses did not have parity. So this effort is to identify places where we can improve within the system. And as we've been looking at it systemically at all the campuses, we have identified a lot of room for improvement for our students and for our staff members. Current offerings across the system are very limited. In some of the college campuses, there are disparities. Some of the campuses are food rich, if you will. They have a lot of different food options. There are some campuses that do not have anything close to them, so enhancing food service will greatly, we believe, affect our enrollment and definitely the quality for the students and staff. So this is currently where we are in the food service offerings. Full service is they have hot food. They are able to produce food on the campus for the students. As you see, we have Alif Hayes, Central Coleman, Northeast, Caldwell, and Northline. Limited service is where they might have a grab and go, something that is cold or something more than vending, and those are Katy, Spring Branch, Stafford, and West Loop. Vending only is where most of our campuses are, and that includes Acres Homes, A-Leaf, Bissonnet, Automotive, Braze Oaks, Central South, including the district. We've been working diligently to try to get food options at the district, and as we've looked at it individually, it presents a challenge. So some more of the challenges that we have as we're looking at the system is we have low populations at some of the locations. They're different at different campuses depending on the student population. Inconsistent daily populations. Some campuses have high census on certain days. Some campuses have low to no census on certain days. So that presents a challenge whenever we're trying to present a vendor with an option of providing services for students. Space availability. All our spaces are not equitable as far as the space that we have allotted for them to operate food service. We have a lot of different locations within the system, and they're very much separated geographically, and that's a challenge for any vendor that we bring. And currently, our infrastructure is not sufficient to turnkey a vendor and say, "Come on in and start cooking tomorrow." That presents a challenge. So as we've been looking at all of the different problems, we have come up with what we think is a solution for increasing food service offerings at the campuses. we have been working with the group and with a vendor to identify problems, to kind of come up with a phased approach to how we're going to increase food offerings and parity. And a couple of the other problems that we've had is usually our leases have not been concurrent for food service. So we've had a lot of individual vendors that are working in some of the campuses, and those leases are not equitable. So as we're looking at this project, we want to make sure that we align all the contract language, expectations, et cetera. We recently engaged with a vendor to negotiate a 3100 Starbucks location, and right now we're working with an architect for those design drawings. So what do we have coming? Currently we have in the past, we have engaged other groups to come in and help us to develop a food service solution for the college. Those haven't been very fruitful in the offerings. The information that we have gotten has been incomplete. The solutions haven't yielded a result from a lot of vendors wanting to come in and offer food service at the college because of some of the limitations that I alluded to. So we're strategizing ways to attract, retain appropriate food service by campus, and to include market analysis, campus population, things that a vendor would come in and want to know in order to determine profitability of food service offerings. We are looking at the shelf spaces, the white boxes that we've created. Those are not finished spaces. They're finished spaces in that somebody can come in and say, okay, I'm going to put in XYZ in this location, but they're not turnkey spaces to where somebody could say, I'm going to come in and start cooking in this locations, but they're ready to be built out. And that was the thought whenever those were initially planned and built is this will give us an opportunity to develop those into food service offerings for the colleges. And we're looking at grab and go and retail offerings to increase the smaller campus population availability. How can we leverage central kitchens to deliver food where we know we have food deserts and we don't have any food offerings currently? And one of the things that has been paramount is to create sustainable food options for the campuses that include parity and an incremental stepwise process for offering more food. One of the benefits that we have and one of the opportunities is catering. We currently have a catering vendor with the campus. If we go with a sole source vendor to help us out with food service, there's the possibility of leveraging catering as well to make that a little bit more financially suitable for the college. And that could include one of the offerings that they have told us that they're capable of doing is creating portals for deciding different menus, for customizing food options for catering. So that is something that we can add to the food offerings at the colleges. One of the things that we would like to do is taste testing so that we can kind of see what product we're getting before we actually go down that path. And one of the things that the consultants that have come in have really lauded was the 3100 kitchen. That is a great space that we currently have. It's underutilized. It's very large. Previously, it was utilized as a teaching kitchen, so it is more on the industrial kitchen level than it is a retail commercial kitchen that would be suitable for an operator to come in and utilize. We're excited about some of the possibilities that are available to include a dining card, which would allow students to preload and utilize cards at those locations and make it easier for them to purchase food, to include for staff utilizing the ID cards or ID badges to preload and debit, and those are things that we're looking at, but they have not been fleshed out. Some of the considerations that we know are going to be challenges our amenities versus revenue driver. A lot of what we've heard from a lot of vendors is there is not a lot of money to be made in the existing locations that we have because of the low population. We are proposing to bring in enhanced vending options, which is very different. There's a solution called Just Bake that actually convection cooks food and provides hot food to students. And I've tasted it. It's actually really good. You wouldn't think that it was vending machine food, but there is a stigma associated with vending overall. And then another con is a multi-step process for rollout. This isn't something that we're going to solve overnight. It's going to take some time to kind of build and roll out. But we think that that's to our benefit in that we can be kind of strategic in how we pick the different locations. Pros, enhanced experience for students, faculty, and staff, better. Providing food service for those individuals is going to be better. Ability to remain open through day and evening service. Right now, during the summer seasons, locations close because there's low student populations. But there are students there, so we want to make sure that we provide services for the students that are attending. And then higher performing locations can help subsidize lower performing ones. So the model that we're looking at, and currently it's being negotiated with legal, is how can we ebb and flow on the income so that it's not as impactful to the college. Next steps, we've been meeting with college leadership, and we intend to keep those meetings to make sure that we understand the needs, and then develop cost estimates for build-outs and needs of the college. As I mentioned, the Y boxes are great, but those are going to be needed to be finished. Where we have current kitchens, we need to make sure that those are up to par for permitting and that they meet all current city requirements. And then finalization of the proposed financial model, which again is under review. Any questions? I can
Mr. Secretary?
Yes, please.
How are our neighboring community colleges dealing with this issue?
This is not an issue that's unique to Houston Community College. As a matter of fact, the vendor that we are in communication with is currently providing the same model to another college system, sister college system close by. Post the pandemic, this has really become a problem for the smaller colleges. The bigger universities are kind of better set up to do retail spaces in high densely populated areas to where profits drive the food options. But
Well, because they have people staying overnight.
Correct.
Right? They have people living there.
Correct.
So I think that this is an important issue. I have a big concern about, with all of our competing priorities, we're a college. Our job is to educate. And I have questions like who would own the vending machines, and I don't.
Yes.
I, as one trustee, don't want the college to be in the business of feeding people, and I don't want to subsidize a vendor if the demand isn't there. With all the competing priorities, we just can't. And so that is just my concern looking at that. I think it is important to enhance the experience. I think it's important to be competitive with our neighboring colleges, especially, and look at what they're doing. But that is what comes to the forefront of my mind when I think of this. Thank you. When I see this, thank you.
Yes.
Man,
I have a question.
anyone else?
I do.
Yes, sir.
What is the average price for the full service? How much are the students paying?
Good question. So one of the challenges in bringing food service to the campuses is the price point. So the partner that we have been talking to, that is one of the priorities, is keeping the price point somewhere where it is affordable to students. We stressed to them that we needed that to be under $10, and their current offerings are around $6, and they have some proposed menus that we've been reviewing with the campuses.
Okay. Was one of the options, because I know by the Acres Home campus, they do have those restaurants. Maybe if somebody could, we could team up with them if they can give our students a discount, since it's right across the street, and even at some of the other campuses having that partnership with some of the restaurants. Well, they may get a free drink or something, and that would increase their.
Yes, we have tried to do a lot of leveraging with partners and food trucks and different vendors that come out to the colleges to provide services. Those have not been consistent enough to provide enough traffic for them to continue to be engaged. And really, as we're looking at it as a whole, the best course of action would be something centralized to help us to diffuse the cost.
Okay, and then the vending machines just drink?
So the vending machines are different food options. There's actually a salad machine, which sounds kind of odd, but it has really good wraps and salads that are maintained and rotated by the vendor. And to your point, that is not an HCC managed. We don't own the machines. We are not in that business, and we recognize that we don't want to be. But the vendor that comes out, they have a schedule to where they make sure that those are full. And whenever we do notice that they're not full, we notify them. The Just Baked is a hot option, which is new. The technology is new. We're working with the vendor to roll it out so that is something else that the students have in addition to cold salads and the vending options, drinks, etc. We're also looking at coffee machines, which I know that coffee vending kind of in your mind makes you think of old hospital, with the sad coffee machine. But this is more of an experience, which is a roast to brew experience for students.
Okay, I like the coffee idea. Okay.
Trustee Cheban.
So I want to pile on to Trustee Reichardt's comments about this. This feels like one more amongst a crowded list of priorities. And I struggle with it for two reasons. One is, according to some email traffic, we don't have good data connecting lack of food service or limited food service with lower enrollment, lower retention, or attrition in staff or faculty. I think before we move forward with any kind of significant longer-term obligation on the part of the institution, it would be good to get that data. I think getting that in a couple of locations should be pretty straightforward. I mean, partnering with 4 or 5 food trucks to go park at West Loop or Katy, and then measuring last year's retention versus this year's retention. I would love to see something in that spirit to make sure that by moving forward with this and dedicating staff time to working a very complicated problem gets us a bang for our buck, even if the financial outlay by the institution isn't huge. I would also love to see what kind of an all-in capital expense might look like. I would imagine if we're building out spaces for food service to operate in, even if it's a hub and spoke model, to me that feels like tens of millions of dollars. And again, back to the prioritization question, we've got $400 million in deferred maintenance. We've got many millions of dollars of software. Just want to make sure that we're allocating our money to efforts that directly support enrollment, retention, and minimize attrition in faculty and staff. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess, and this is part of my comment, if I'm not mistaken, the foundation, a percentage of certain vending machines comes to the foundation for scholarships for our students. Is that correct? So, yes, she is. So, that's one of the benefits of having the vending machines. That a portion of that profit goes to scholarships for our students. And I know that the vending machines can be easier to manage because these companies understand the ebb and flow of the campuses. Certain campuses grew, my campus grew in the last 6 years. So prior to that, there was no need. There was only 125 students a semester in 2017. Now there are 1,400 or over 1,400 a semester. So now there's a need. And identifying what that need looks like is very beneficial, in particular if those vending machines are going to add value to our foundation scholarship base. I know that vendors have to register here with a particular organization, and that registration has a price value to it, and it raises the dollar value of what that vendor sells. That's happened on other campuses in other universities, and they're all reviewing that, saying maybe this is not a good idea to have this organization to, quote, manage this. But I think that if we are diligent in understanding what our student population is and what their interest is, because we're not asking them, we're assuming that we know. That's never a good idea. But if you ask students, they will tell you what their interest is, and they will support whatever their interest is in terms of vending. I know that in the workforce building, the vending machine is the one, we have one vending machine or two, one for drinks and one for basic snacks. They're both fairly robust, and we have not filled that building. But I think that if we manage it appropriately, I think that if we, first of all, just ask the students, they will tell you what they like and what they don't like. They will also tell you what they will pay for and what they will not pay for. And I think that if those vending funds or those food service funds are going to go, a portion of that is going to support our foundation scholarships for students, I think that is something that we can do. And I would ask that the foundation would give us a report on how that works. My campus is a food desert, period. You have to drive away to go to get something to eat. You have no choice. The vending machines now have fundamental snacks. And we were very glad to get that, and they're very utilized. But if you go to Central, the vending machines are pretty awesome, and they're utilized robustly. So we just got to know what our students want. And I think that we can make it work without spending a lot of money. I think the vendors know what college students want because that's their purview. They're supposed to know. And they're probably a lot better at it than we are. And if we sit with them, I'm sure they will tell us, in vending machine XYZ, if you do these snacks, you'll do fine. So I'm looking forward to something that is focused and disciplined, something that is tasked beyond the internal walls of this institution. Find the vendors and ask the students so that we have a clear picture and so that we can work it. And I've seen the food service space for weeks on end and nothing was going on. And so 2 weeks ago, nothing was going on. And last week I went through and I think they put up a couple of walls. But those spaces need to be finished. The fundamental space needs to be complete because it is a hazard, because it is not. And it needs to be complete. And then if you have vendors, they will tell you what they need or they will bring what they need. That should be part of their contract. What are they going to bring to the table to service our students? If we're going to increase each of these colleges by 10,000 students, they're going to be very upset that they cannot eat. And I can tell you the only reason why South Campus does not have 4,000 students is because we do not recruit. I can absolutely tell you that because I recruit in my district. And I absolutely know that we do not. We do not recruit dual credit. We do not recruit early college high school. I recruit in my district, and my constituents tell me that. They get no information. So we work to make that happen. My volunteers work to make that happen. And that's what we're going to have to do. And I don't think it's very difficult considering Houston Community College now has what, Chancellor? $20 million in apprenticeship funds for 425 apprenticeship positions that may last anywhere from 18 months to 4 years. That's just one apprenticeship program. That Case Trio, that's just another apprenticeship program. One for $850,000 that should be finished. We should use the money by July. We are in need of structured, focused, disciplined effort to put students in the buildings. That's what we're really in need of. And they will tell you what they want to eat. And those vending machines will make money because the foundation can tell you that they make money. And that some of those funds go to our students. It would be great for those vending machines to put more scholarship money in the hands of the foundation. I think that would be an amazing thing to do. So I think we should figure it out.
Thank you, Trustee Vandal Stallworth. Have we ever looked at food trucks? You know, did the board, did I miss something? Did the board authorize doing all this, or for me personally, I'm tired of building stuff and doing that. We got enough campuses, we got enough space. I want to fill them up. And I think the board needs to take a look at this and decide whether this is a priority or not, and whether it's a low or high priority. And I would hate to get in the middle of subsidizing food, and I just soon let the marketplace work in this and with vending machines and share with the foundation rather than us get into some big food fight. And so, that's, I think it's about time to cut it off here. We've had, thank you for the presentation, and thank everybody for their comments.
Thank you.
And thank you. The board will now adjourn to closed or executive session under the Texas Government Code, Section 551071, 551072, 551074, and/or 551076 of the Open Meetings Act, as stated in the notice of this meeting. Should any final action, vote, or decision be required in the opinion of the board on any matter considered in closed session, such final action, vote, or decision shall be taken up in the open meeting or at a subsequent public meeting of the board upon notice thereof. This meeting is hereby adjourned at
6:31 p.m.
For those trustees joining closed session by video conference, please be reminded to disconnect the open session portion of the meeting and join closed session with the WebEx link provided for closed session.
the board's consideration of a settlement offer in the amount in terms of the agreement discussed in closed session regarding USCA 24-20131, plaintiff versus Houston Community College et al. With your permission, Mr. Chair, I invite Interim General Counsel Montgomery to answer all questions.
Are there any questions? Does everybody understand the ramifications of a yes and a no?
This is the dot. Which one? Which one is this? F?
Yeah, this is the offer of the Patricia Dodd regarding the Court of Appeals of the Fifth Circuit.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes, we're ready to vote.
Ready to vote.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Your valued board member,
Thank you.
Princess.
Voting has concluded. The item fell with a vote of 5 oppositions, no one's in favor. So it's 0-5.
We will now vote on item G, consideration of a settlement offer. No, wait a minute.
We're on item H. H, I'm sorry.
H.
We need a motion.
All right, we sure do. Could I have a motion to, for item G or H?
So moved.
Wait.
Second.
We already did G.
We're on H.
We're on
We're H. Is there a motion to approve H?
So moved.
Second.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Dr. Ford Fisher will introduce the item.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and members of the board. This item is a recommendation for consideration of a proposed settlement agreement of the board for the board's consideration regarding United States District Court Southern District of Texas, Houston Division Civil Action 419 CV 02928 West Side Ventures LTD versus Houston Community College System District et al. With your permission, Mr. Chair, I invite Interim General Counsel Montgomery to respond to all questions.
Are there any questions? No. Seeing no questions, we'll call the vote.
Trustee.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, yes, I voted.
Trustee Johnson.
This is what we just discussed. We would need all.
Voting has concluded. The motion fails with a vote of 2-3.
See which way the two. This meeting is hereby adjourned at
8:11 p.m.
Have a good evening.